Sometimes in life you take the time to reflect on things. Mistakes made, things you could have done differently, so on and so forth. You reflect on those things, you kind of think about it. I think the problem with a lot of us is that we're consumed by the past. In more ways than one. I sit here enjoying the calm, peaceful night outside, reflecting. More so on myself than anything else, to be quite honest with you. I sit here and wonder what could have been in different scenarios in life. What if 2021 didn't happen? What if I didn't stab people in the back? The people I actually cared about, want to correct. What if I didn't say certain things? What if I didn't do certain things? Would things have been better? Then I realized that majority of that has happened on YouTube. It never really affected my personal life. There are regrets, yes. Friends lost for periods of time and all this other stuff, but nothing directly, in my sanctuary, if you will. The only other place you could say it affected was maybe the most important place, and that is your mind, your spirit, what have you. I've been on this platform for close to a decade. And I've seen people come, I've seen people go. There's only been a few constants in this community. I know a lot of people hate that term, and honestly, it has a lot of poison to it. A lot of times on here, you see the egotistical, self-centered bravado. All the bravado, all the charm, if you will, and whatever else people could say, psychotic. Talks a lot, bores a lot. Many names, many words. The devil. In these moments of reflection, I come to a realization that there are times when, especially a few years back, where I lost sight of who I am. And I've done a lot to try to correct that course and go into a different path, to a better path. And things get in the way. Biggest issue, or my biggest flaw, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, is pride. We don't want to be wrong. We don't want to be, we want, as the problem with a lot of us on here is that we want to be right. We want to win some war, if you will. We want to have some type of bragging rights, victory, so on and so forth. What's the point of it? You know, I've spent the last what, almost 2 years, actually probably more than about 2 years now, in this war that I never wanted, and was there to show for it. Sure, people went into hiding, people's true colors were shown, so on and so forth, but what was really gained? Nobody's in jail. Nobody nobody's blacklisted on either side, to be quite fair. It's just been a consistent back and forth with no end game in sight. And that is something that I have realized that I've seen certain things happen regarding, like, I know Arthur mentioned this earlier or in a previous stream about his woman getting sent a decapitated lizard head and all that. And sure, it shows the how evil people can be. But was that done? Like, was that really done? Is anybody going to jail? Is anybody going to cut people off to do that? Nothing. Nothing has happened. And as I've told Arthur countless times, nothing will happen. But if there is a God or devil, like, we all know that in the end, the people doing these horrible things are going to pay the piper eventually. And hell, even I am going to pay the piper eventually for my sins. We all are, as the fact of reality. Usually around this time, I go into a kind of not an existential crisis or a spiritual situation, but I do wonder. Sometimes I just wonder what's going to happen when I die, when you die. I'm just saying, anybody watching, ask yourself that. Where are we going? What's your beliefs? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in the devil? Do you believe in some different entity? As we get older, and again, I've had these thoughts going back maybe 2 years, around this time actually, and I question that. I'm like, I've said this before, that most of you know I'm atheist, but sometimes I don't want to be proven right about there not being a God. Because the idea of us just rotting away in a box or in a urn or in the ocean, and that's it. Nothing else. No divine sanctuary, no fiery pits of hell, none of that. Our souls rot away with our bodies. And honestly, that terrifies me. Maybe that's what I'm waiting for. And it's probably not going to be coming for another many, many decades. I hope. But sometimes I do wonder when the day comes that I am no longer a part of this world, what is going to happen to my soul, I guess. If there is a hell, I've already made peace with the fact that that's where I'm probably going. Like a lot of people too that will that have tried their damnedest to fight off things, fight off, I'm a good man, but I'm a very sinful man in that regard. And who knows, maybe acknowledging about the sins may bear me pardon into the pearly gates. I don't know. Again, or nothing at all. But I do. That is something. That's something going back to reflection. A lot of us on here talk about doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing, and sometimes to do the right thing, you have to do the wrong thing. But I realize that a lot of us on this platform are not good people, at least in the in the YouTube world. If we don't get our way in an argument, we go low, or we dox people, or we send stuff to people's houses, decapitate lizard heads, what have you, SIM cards, what have you. I think that's the thing that a lot of people on here don't understand, is that even if you are doing the right thing in your own mind, you are doing something vile to get to that point. And if we all think that we are going to the pearly gates, if there is one, we are sadly mistaken in that regard. If we are judged based of just of our YouTube appearance, I guess you would say, I guarantee about 85% of us will be going to hell. Regardless of the good things we may say we do, or we don't do, or what have you. It's the idea that we have evil traits. It's what's up, Arthur? How you doing, man? None of us are innocent. None of us are shielded from the transgressions that we have all committed on here. For the longest time, I've tried to tell people to go a different path, to do this, to do that. Why do I even bother? To some, I will do that too, because they are good people. They're just caught in bad situations. Like those people I would fight for, but a lot of people on here, why do I waste my time like in regards to those things? Going back to reflection, right? I've apologized so much for my past transgressions I've done over on over and over and over again. Even the people that I don't even know who they are. Like I'm done apologizing. I've been done for the longest time. If people want to paint me as some evil man, maybe they're right. Maybe they're wrong. But at the end of the day, the only person that can judge me is the man is the yeah. The only person that could realistically judge me is and it is if he's real is the man upstairs. It's not some person who is going to, like has a voice, has a microphone, has a keyboard. My judgment day will come eventually, and I'm just talking about and let's be real here. Worst things I've probably ever done have been the shit that I've said on here. Have I not been the best husband in the world in the past? Perhaps. Never said I was the same regarding that. May have not been the best father at times, but I at least, what's up, Dragon? But I have at least put my kid first above anything else. That's good, Dragon. I think I'm going to be watching it with my mother next week when I see her. We saw what movie did we see today? We saw Megan 2.0, which is actually pretty good. I don't understand the hate. It's not horrible. I think some cats are going to fight, so I'll get some entertainment while standing out here reflecting. Anyway, and I know there are people out there that do more heinous things or say more heinous things than I do, and but I sit here and wonder about that because I'm like thinking, what's the point? Like I can name drop people left and right and say what like what's what I'm looking for? What evil transgressions or stuff like that do. Like say all this till I'm blue in the face regarding things. I could say like this person fucking either knows or has sent Arthur's girl the decapitated lizard heads. I could say that so-called pred catchers are quote unquote doing the right thing, protecting the kids, are just no more than doxers and fucking they can't if you disagree with them or do something that they have no agreement and they're going to dox you or do this or do that. Then Other people who go after or who do the same things, they get free pass because they kiss ass. Then again, also people could say the same thing in my crew. Everybody in here, like you, not saying you are, but you know, everybody in here is an ass kisser or whatnot. It's just a thing where no matter what you do, no matter what the, you try to do the right thing, and it's not going to end well in one way or another. You're going to have cracks in your shield. You're going to have hypocritical moments that will make you into a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite in a lot of ways. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not. I can also point out that there are other people who are hypocrites that are not man enough to call the other people out or call themselves out or what have you. We are all hypocrites in one way, shape, or form. That is undeniable. As undeniable, and we cannot, at least on here. Again, I don't know what y'all do. Well, some of you I do because I know y'all personally, but don't know what you do in your day to day life. And people could say I'm a hypocrite on here, but how do they know I'm a hypocrite behind the scenes? You know, I just wonder sometimes. Like, for example, I've come to peace with, and Arthur, if you're still in here, like your issues with you and Kevin are never going to end because y'all are both stubborn. That is something that I have noticed, and that's something that y'all are going to continue to go at it until the end of this platform, until the end of one of y'all's lives. That has been proven. I at least have tried in the past, whether it be in vain or not, to try to mend, or not mend, but at least go separate ways. But people, and it could be myself as well, keep some things going, whatever way it may be. Because it doesn't matter how right or wrong you are in the end, doesn't matter. Because even if you're right in a situation, if someone doesn't fucking like that you're right, they're going to say whatever, say horrible things about you, dox you, send stuff to your home, do whatever. Or it doesn't matter if one party says something foul and then the other person says some foul. It's never going to be both people are going to be held in that category of the wrong, and I've accepted that. That's why I've said that, if ever I have to let the devil out fully again, because I know how the mind works. I know how to. I may not be able to physically fuck you up or whatever, but fuck you up mentally. We are all devils in our own in our own ways. Just some are better at hiding it or not embracing it than others. We always have that devil on our shoulder telling us things, whispering into our ear, or maybe a Lilith, if you will, whispering into ours. Maybe we just want a, maybe not a devil, but more of a mistress of darkness, whispering in our ear, telling us what we want to hear, telling us what we should say, what have you. But at the end of the day, like I look at it and I'm like thinking, nothing, like reflecting on everything, nothing has changed. Everybody's still at each other's throats. The good ones are being dragged into it unwillingly through whatever bullshit reason. Supposed pred catchers are catching preds left and right, but none of them are facing any severe penalties or penance. Nothing is being accomplished here. So I asked the question even to myself, why do we still do it? Is it just because we have that little itch of that itch that we always want to scratch regarding just notoriety, clout? I learned that less, like, took me a minute to realize this, but the point that I thought of when I was thinking about like this whole idea of nothing is accomplished, nothing is done, there's no resolve and there won't be a resolve, is the idea that what was it, a few months ago or something, I was having a little beef with a supposed pred catcher, and I think I called the person boy or called the person child or something, I don't know, and then next thing is they show a Google map of my place, and I came to the realization that that was like calling someone a boy or a child, and then they act like a child. That proved what I said as correct, as true. But what what was accomplished of it? Nothing. What's been the accomplishment making streams about certain people? Nothing. What has been the what has making streams on Preds done? Nothing. What has streams about calling out hypocrisies done? Nothing. And hello, Motion Zombie. Nothing has been accomplished except for views, I guess. That's the only thing I could think of in regards to what has truly been accomplished. Interaction, maybe, but nothing concrete. If YouTube dies tomorrow, what are we going to have? If social media goes away tomorrow, what are we going to have? I know what I'll still have, and I know there are people out there that they know what they sell, but some people, they're going to have nothing. No place to voice their concerns, voice their opinions, as flawed and frivolous as that may be. Some people may even go mad. They don't have that outlet. Unfortunately, in this day and age, that's what a lot of us live off of is the internet, is the social media, is YouTube, is Twitch, Kick, what have you. I saw I talked about this in a short a few days ago about the whole Psycho Stu Raj Jackson incident, and I just came to the whole thing where like right now nothing's been accomplished. Like I could say that Raj Jackson should be in jail. They're what are they doing? Why isn't he in a jail cell right now? Or you know, the one thing that the one good thing that's come out of it so far is that Psycho Stu has woken up. He seems to like saw a picture of him with his family or his friends and family. You know, he's got a lot of people supporting him. I'll put that. I think I should. What's up, Nick? Let me see if I still have it. I should still have it up. Okay. And it's a long link. I don't even know if that full link will be visible, but it is what it is. People can see it, people can click it, and all that. I just don't like. Part of me just wonders when enough is enough. But I agree. I agree. I commend a lot of people like Jericho for helping out. I saw Mr. Beast donated 10 grand. You know, a lot of these people didn't have to. You know, people may have their opinions about Mr. Beast. I don't know too much about him, but you know, I at least can respect the fact that you know he didn't have to do a damn thing, and yet he donated a good amount of money for this. At least tells me that there are good people out there in the world, and sometimes social media can be a good thing, but I've addressed that I'm going to be going on. Well, I don't know now because it may not even have on Fortune 4 Shoes channel, but they're open fight night this Sunday. Mainly because I wanted, because while I've made a lot or done a lot of bad things over the years, there are still some wrongs I need to right in that regard. And this may get around or go around, so I could say I'll say it here if I'm not able to say it on Sunday, because one of the main reasons why I was going to go on there wasn't because of some YouTube bullshit or fighting or all that stuff. and all that. But like I was also going to go in there to have a discussion with Wrestling Otaku because I've said some horrible things about him and his family in the past, and I have apologized before, but old habits, unfortunately. But Otaku, if you do see this, or if this gets to you, I'm not asking to be friends. I'm not asking to be buddies. We have differences of opinions on a lot of different things. I'm not asking for that. More so a clearer conscience. Like I am truly sorry for the horrible stuff I've said about you in regards to your family, your grandmother in particular, and despite our little beefs in the past, you didn't deserve that shit. You know, our issues should have just been our issues and should have stayed that way. You really, as far as I know, never went low on me to the point, unless it was retaliation, which if that was the case, that's understandable. And I know you and a lot of it happened because of even going back to how you and I first interacted. It happened because of a fucking idiot from Arkansas, and I'm not referring to Mason. No, he's one of the good ones and all that. And that was something I shouldn't have done. You didn't deserve it compared to that. It's one of the reasons why back in 2023, when you were getting when in a specific server you were getting pizza sent to your house, I was one of the people that was exposing that and blew the whistle on that because while while we could say both of us are a lot of things, I do know one thing about both of us is that we're not predators or we're not pedophiles or any of this other bullshit. So you didn't deserve to get that shit happen to you, especially by these insignificant individuals. Again, this is not me kissing your ass or doing whatever and all that stuff. Like I've openly said, I'm subscribed to both of your channels. I listen. I'm entertained. To me, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Some of these people, while I may not agree with what their stances on things, like I don't agree with Otaku's point of view on OnlyFans. I used to. Not going to sit here and deny it, but I will. I like to listen to other people's perspectives, especially if they get animated. Sometimes it's more entertaining for me in that way. One of the reasons why I miss Brian Absher because it was like that addictive drug that you just can't quit. So, like I said, I hope Roar. I don't know if you're watching or if you'll see this later, but or all that. But if you do see this, forward it to Otaku or just read him a transcript. I don't expect anything in return. I don't expect any special privilege or even a video. I'm just doing that because it's the right thing to do. I appreciate it, brother. I still gotta listen to your stuff. I've been in the rabbit hole of Fall of House of Usher. Love that show, so I like rewatching it from time to time. I'm not even doing it for the sake of salvation, if you will. More so on what's right. There's some people that don't deserve sympathy, mercy, an apology, or anything like that. And then there's others who do in some ways. That's just how it is. Oh yeah. There are traits where I do of myself that I do, I guess you would say, define my character. I may not be the richest person in the world. I am rich in the most important place that there can be. One thing that money or anything, cars, mansions, what have you, can't buy, and that's peace of mind. I spent the last few years atoning for past mistakes, past sins, and there are some people I've owed apologies to for a good while. Hell, I don't even know if I've mentioned him in a long ass time. I've talked to him behind the scene or talked about him behind the scenes with Jordan, but the one person I truly regret losing as a friend and never have had that opportunity to rebuild. And if I don't, that's my cross to bear. But Remington, Juggle Gamer, for those of you who do not know, near the end, before everything happened in 2021, I really considered him a good guy and a good friend. And, you know, a lot of very similar interests and all that. I hated losing him, hated losing a lot of people like as friends, but he was one of them. Never really talked about that publicly. But since it's about reflection, I just thought, you know, I was able to build that bridge back with Jordan, which is something I'm eternally grateful for. And since Dan's in here, I like, a big thank you to him and a lot of people who have, I guess, tried and sometimes in vain to keep me on the right path. On the right path. Unfortunately, my pride and my ego have always kept me from doing that. One gift I did not want from my father or my grandfather, for that matter. Very prideful man, very prideful man, and it's just something that I it's still something I still struggle with to this day. And the first step to, I guess, recovery is realizing that you have I guess the first step of rehabilitation is realizing that you have a problem. Like I said, I was gonna go on open fight night on Sunday as my last stop before I take the rest of the month off or all of September off. I think I'm fine with this. I think I'm fine with this. I always have the idea that if anybody wants to, anybody I've um, apologized or fucking done this or done that, you know, I don't have a few people blocked anymore on my socials. If they ever want to have a conversation privately, they can always reach out and all that. But just reflection. I usually go through these existential crises or spiritual crises around this time. Don't know why. I think at the time, I think it was what was it when Bray Wyatt passed was when I really first went into like spiritual crisis about life, death, reflection. And now that I think about it more and more, I don't know. Today was just like it was a good day, but it was just a weird day. Sometimes I wanna look into the future, see how much time I have left, see how many will be at the funeral, see where I go from here after this life. That's something I think about from time to time, especially around this time. Again, I have no idea why. Could be a plethora of reasonings. Maybe it's getting older. I don't know. I'm not the spring chicken I once was. But I think that's it. I think that's it in regards to what I had to say. Nothing really else to add to it. I hope this stream, in some ways, as people we look things differently. Probably not. Another curse I have is I'm a realist. I kind of realize that everything I'm saying here, not maybe not to all, but to some, it's just not going to mean anything. But that one soul that can hear what I'm saying and look at it from their own perspective and kind of look at things maybe a little bit differently. If I'm able to get that one person to see that, that's all that matters. And if not, well, I was just talking to myself, basically, which, eh, it's neither here nor there. But I'd like to thank everybody for watching and listening to me ramble on for almost an hour. And yeah, before anybody asks, I'm okay. I'm not, nothing's like going on or nothing's going to happen and all this other bullshit. Just something that I kind of just think about from time to time and then reflect on things, whether that be recent or things in the past, if you will. But anyway, y'all take care, and I will see you on October 1st. Ta ta for now.